And welcome to Joy News Desk. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemne. Coming up this morning, over 600,000 first-time voters expected to participate in the limited voter registration exercise beginning today.
You can actually see the timetable of the movement plan. So you know that on this day they will be at this electoral area. They will be here for 2 days in a particular district. They will move from this electoral area, so you can actually follow them, and that is available on our website.
More as he urged the Electoral Commission to put measures in place to make the guarantor system robust.
I have the opportunity to use my time to bring someone into power.
That will give me the chance to also voice out on the person to lead us.
People will now be seeing me, engaging me into political activities in my community.
Giver and receiver is the most effective way of curing vote buying in our elections.
We have always looked at these in very legalistic terms. Why don't you catch them and put them into jail and it's not going to happen anytime soon.
We have details of what political watchers offer a solution to the canker as we gear up to the 2024 elections. Plus, this morning, expect fierce rainstorms in the coming weeks. New forecast from the Met saying the rains will be accompanied by strong winds in the northern and OT regions. We have a conversation coming up shortly. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay for details. The Electoral Commission is defending its procurement processes after receiving backlash from Imani Africa. The Commission insists its procurement processes were done through competitive bidding through the Public Procurement Authority and the Finance Ministry. Addressing the press Monday, the Electoral Commission Chair Jane Mensah added their budget for the procurement of EVDs were scrutinized by Parliament, maintaining that their procurement processes were not done in secrecy. The EC also claims not to have been aware of Imani Africa's petition to charge against the Commission.
And we know that procurement usually would go under the Public Procurement Authority. It doesn't go, we do not seek parliamentary approval to procure. It is true that we defend our budgets with a special budget committee of Parliament. And before our budgets are approved, we have these extensive discussions with the honorable members of the Special Budgets Committee before approval. But when it comes to procurement, we get approvals mainly from the Public Procurement Authority and the Central Tender Review Committee of the Ministry of Finance. So I can assure you that the Commission has abided strictly by the law in all procurements that it has done from 2018 to date. You go through the appropriate agencies, be it the PPA, or you can go through the Central Tender Review Committee, as the case may be. And that has been done, and there's documentation to that effect.
Meanwhile, Jane Mensah says the cost of registering a new voter has reduced from $13 per head to $7. Speaking on arrangements ahead of the limited voter registration exercise beginning today, Jane Mensah said they expect to register over 623,000 new voters from May 7 to May 27.
With the figure 623,000, per the census report of 2020, 450,000 people turn 18 years every year. And so are you aware that in 2020 we held voter registration? So if you start counting from 2021 to 2024, you arrive at a figure of 1.8 million persons turning 18 years every year. And in the last registration exercise, we managed to register some 910,000 of the 1.8, and it leaves us with a figure of 890,000 persons who are yet to register. We all know that we cannot expect all 890,000 persons, at our registration centers. We cannot have all of them come. And so what we've done is to use 70% of that 890,000, and that gives us the figure of 623,000 that we've put there.
Mensah says the commission, in collaboration with the political parties, have selected 785 electoral areas where the registration will take place. To ensure students and campuses are not disenfranchised, the commission has assigned mobile teams to 25 public universities to register prospective voters.
Additionally, as mentioned, when you go on our website, you can actually see the timetable of the movement plan. So you know that on this day they will be at this electoral area. They will be here for 2 days in a particular district. They will move from this electoral area, so you can actually follow them, and that is available on our website. The public universities, I don't have that data with me. Do you have? Can we get copies and to share? But again, if you visit our website, you will find the breakdown of the public universities per region. We are hoping that before the end of this exercise, we should be able to get that data. But it is also on our website. It has also been gazetted, and a visit, to our website will help you to identify the breakdown of the public universities per region.
Madam Jean Mensah also denied allegations that returning officers and deputy returning officers for the exercise were submitted to them by various MMDCEs across the country. According to her, the commission opened application portals for interested persons to apply, after which they conducted extensive interviews and successful applicants were selected.
The first one was on the accusation of using staff who had been given to us by district chief executives. And again, we refute that allegation. And the point that is being made is that these staff who have been selected are not new. They are not new to our processes. They've worked with us for many, many years. And therefore, they are not new selected staff coming from anywhere. If they were, they would not be persons that we've worked with. And I think I find your question a little, because if they were new, then you could say that, oh, these are new people who don't know our system. These are people who advertised, who are known to our system, have worked with us for many years, and have experience with us.
Well, some prospective first-time voters are urging the EC to make the guarantor system robust. Michael Otu Kofi and Nicholas Sam, all residents of Jamestown in Accra, made this call on Joy Prime's just turned 18 show with Shola Adeyemi.
Esther, what are some of the heard about the registration process?
Sometimes they will be saying, oh, Lina Keneke, Nini Mepi, Nakaki can come Bahan Mavoti. No, I register, no, San Mataon, Pakoniba, Fitai.
People say that, oh, when they go, the line is too long. So unless you find like an older person before you can finally get to vote. That she says it's her experience or things that she has heard about, the registration process. Now you, Michael, what have you been hearing?
Okay, what I usually have been hearing that people are normally not 18, but people usually force to bring them to the registration center to be registered so that they can get the opportunity to vote, because they need more votes in their parties. So it's normally creates confusion at the registration center.
But does that work? Because we have authorities at the registration centers. Are these people caught?
It goes by the links, so you can't tell. Because no matter what you say, they are older than you, so they will go by all means to make it happen.
All right, now Nico, I'll come back to you, Esther.
Like he said, it's very true. So sometimes you see that some people are not 18 yet, but they get to register. So I don't know, but I would suggest that, you see, we all have birth sets. So if it's possible, then we should use our birth set to guarantee that we are 18 years. Because some people will just bring some random person and then claim she's my auntie, she's my this and that, and then the person will just testify that oh, she just turned 18 or he just turned 18, and then the person will just be registered.
I mean, Esther, is that the same thing for you? Abigail, sorry, is that the same thing for you? Have you been hearing that they said people come there that are not 18 years? Is that also the story you've heard? Or there's another story you've also heard?
Yeah, mostly people actually vote because they are convinced to, and they can be convinced through being given money or something else altogether, just to allow a lot of people into the party to vote for them. Because the higher the people vote, the more votes they get.
But before the voting, there comes registration. And I'm asking that, you see, sometimes they say, or when you go to register, you see, like Esther said, there are queues upon queues. You go there in the morning, you come in the evening. What are some of the things you have heard about registration?
Mostly there's misunderstanding over there as compared to what Esther said, which leads to people fighting, which causes damages. Like last 4 years, there was a lot of damages over there.
All right. Is that the same thing for you, Godwin?
Yeah, and what I've also witnessed and heard is you have to go there early. People usually use chairs, stones to queue. Yeah, so like when you go and meet those stones and chairs there, they will be expecting you to stand behind those chairs and stuff. So when they come and they see you have bypassed the stones, they will actually fight you, which I think is not good. They should be there themselves.
There's misunderstanding. I see that. And you, is that the same thing for you?
Also, I've also noticed a different thing altogether. One of them being the attitude of the EC officials. Some will come to work late, or some feel because they are those doing the registration, they can show attitude and be doing all sorts of things. Also, the political leaders will be interfering in the work of the EC officials. They think they have brought their people. The person is underage. Because they brought the person by force, you have to register the person when the person is not even 18 years. So that's one thing I've also noticed.
So
let's get on to the grounds, and we start with Kumasi, where Nana Boakye Yadom is looking out for us. Nana Boakye Yadom, where are you, and how is the exercise faring there? Hello, Nana Boakye Yadom. Right, so Nana Boakye Yadom is monitoring the registration exercise.
Anti-regional EC office here in the Ishaya constituency. So, as I was saying, we are currently at the Ashanti Regional EC office here in the Ishaya constituency. This office will be housing about 4 constituencies: Bantama, Ishaya, Menchia North and Menchia South. The process started at exactly 7 a.m. and it is expected to have a number of first-time voters coming in to participate in the voter registration exercise. A number of party agents are seated here monitoring the process, and a number of first-time voters are coming in to participate in the exercise today. One thing we have observed is that since the process started for about 2 hours or getting to 3 hours now, the particulars of these applicants have been taken, but then the process has not really gone through because the EC says they are waiting for some codes for their machines so that they can actually begin with the process in itself. And so these are some of the applicants or the first-time voters who are coming to participate in the exercise. Clearly in your short, the EC would be taking their particulars and then progressively use it as to when they get the chance to operate with their machines. I would want us to interact with some of these first-time voters who are coming to participate in the voter registration exercise. But as I said earlier, the constituency or the regional EC office is housing 4 constituencies: Bantama, Ishaya, Menchia North and Menchia South constituency. These are some of the first-time voters seated here who are waiting for their EC to call upon them to participate, to get their application or to get their cards done. I would want to start with this lady here. When did you come here? Around what time did you get here? Okay, well, some of them are not. Are you ready to talk to us? Well, let me speak to this lady here. What time did you get here?
I came here around 8.
Around 8 a.m.?
Yes, please.
And then, have you been through the process? Have they taken your particulars already?
No, please.
They haven't?
Yes.
What is the challenge so far?
I think the challenge so far is that the network is not working. They are saying the network is not responding, and so we have to wait for a while. Yes.
Okay, but then what have you observed since you came here?
Well, what I've observed is that everybody is trying to make their best to make things a little easier for us. That's what I've observed, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And she says that per her observation, everything seems to be okay, and then the EC is doing their best to make sure that they get a stable network to proceed with the registration exercise. I hope we can talk to you. What have been your observations since you also came here?
My observation, some are trying to do their voters ID whilst others are waiting for network to do theirs. That's my observation.
And have you been through any process? Have they taken your particulars?
Not yet.
Not yet. So, do you think that they can go by the time they really did schedule for this process?
I don't think so.
Okay. What constituency or district are you coming from?
Menchia South.
Menchia South. Okay, so Aisha, these are some of the applicants who are waiting for their turn or for the EC to call upon them to participate in the registration exercise. I would want us to speak to some of the agents who are in here for us to also listen to their concerns. Some of them have been questioning the EC on its delay in proceeding with the exercise today. I have with me a representative for the National Democratic Congress, and I heard him earlier having serious engagement with the EC officials here. What were your concerns with the EC?
Our concern is a lot. Today is the day we are starting with the registration. And we have mobilized those kids from DRC, estate, everywhere. And we are here till date. Nobody is telling us anything. And the registration is not yet started. And we don't know. So that's why I came to go and ask them what is going on. Because when we ask them, and they say they are waiting a feed from Accra. What kind of feed?
So then, have they not told you what their concerns are?
Their concern is they are waiting a feed from Accra. Right now, the machines that the BVD that they have to use is not connected to their system.
That's what they told you?
That's what they told me.
So that is why some of the first-time applicants are out here?
Everybody is here. We are just sitting waiting till the machines start working before they can register. We don't know whether they can do it today or what. We don't know. They themselves are just stranded.
But then I spoke to the EC boss here, and he tells me that they just need some codes, and they are waiting for the Accra to give them the go-ahead.
The code that will give them chance to activate the system. Yeah. So if you did not get the code, you can activate the system. So if Hannah tell you that the system cannot be activated, that's the code. And they are not getting the code.
So do you think that the people you've been bringing here to participate in the exercise are stranded?
Definitely. For now, you have to feed them. Because you can't pick somebody's kid, 18 years, 19 years, 20 years, here since morning till date, and you are not feeding them. You have to feed them. And where you are going to get those money and feed those kids?
Okay. So those are your concerns?
Yes. That's our serious concern.
All right, thank you so much. And that is a representative of the National Democratic Congress. He is here saying that, well, they've been raising several concerns with the EC. They are delaying with the process, and then they want the EC to fasten its process in making sure that these applicants who are here get through the process smoothly. I would want to speak to a rep for the NPP also. You had the concerns that he was raising with the delay. What are your response to that?
I'm surprised at the organizer for NDC is saying that the EC called us to a meeting that there has been a problem, a challenge in the network, and it's a process. We have online and offline registration. We've all agreed to go by the online registration. So I'm really surprised he's making this allegation. And trust NDC people, when even is white, they will tell them it's black. So I'm not surprised he's making this false allegation. He is much aware, so I'll be surprised for him to say he's not aware that it's a network problem. The EC called us and explained what is really going on. So I'm really surprised Mandela is saying that. And to me, it doesn't come as a surprise in a way.
But you don't have any challenge whatsoever?
For now, as the process started, it was ongoing. I already told you we have two phases. The first phase is where you take the manual details. Then the second phase is where you go by the biometric, where your fingerprints and other details are being taken. That is where we have the problem of network. And it's not fault of theirs or mine. And the EC deemed fit, inform us, call us into a meeting that this is the problem, so we should hold on. And it's not the problem pertaining to this very district or constituency alone. It's something nationwide. So I'm surprised he's saying he's not aware. So apart from that, there is nothing ongoing on. So he's much aware it's a network problem. So that's it.
Okay, but with the people you've been bringing in here, your people, are they okay?
Oh, at least we'll say as a human as we are, Ali.
Because it's getting to 3 hours now, and then they've not been through the process.
As I said, as human as we are, you'll be a little bit frustrated that you are here to go through a process, and when it comes, it stalls as a result of fault of no use. Definitely, it will be a worry. But as the EC has already said, they are working around the clock to get the thing done.
Okay, thank you so much. And that is also a representative of the New Patriotic Party. So, Aisha, we've heard from the NDC, we've heard from the MPP, and we've heard from some first-time voters who are coming in here to participate in the voter registration exercise here in the Ashanti region. The EC headquarters, or the EC office, located in the Ishiaso constituency, house in 4 constituencies in Ishiaso, Bantama, Menshia South, and Menshia North. Party agents are here observing everything. And then the police deployment is so strong to make sure that peace and everything is going on smoothly. The Ashanti Regional EC boss, Mr. Benjamin Banobio, is inside them, interacting with officials to make sure that they can fasten their belts in making sure that everything or the process begins to have everybody cleared out of here, because people continue to troop into the office to participate in the exercise. So clearly, from our observation, about 3 hours or getting to 3 hours now, it is just the particulars of these voters that have been taken. They are waiting to go through the main process, which would demand or which will require the EC machines. We are being told that they need a confirmation from the headquarters to get some codes which will make sure that they can go on with the process, which will require registering these first-time voters. Clear scenes here from the Ashanti Regional EC office. Over to you, Aisha.
From Kumasi monitoring the exercise for us. We'll be taking you to other grounds where the exercise is taking place. The EC says it's registering over 600,000 people who just turned 18. Now, let's get on to other stories. The Ghana Meteorological Agency is warning residents living in the northern and OT regions to expect fierce rainstorms in the coming weeks. One person was injured with 8 vehicles smashed by uprooted trees after parts of Accra witnessed heavy downpour. Chief weather forecaster at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Felicity Ahiafianyo, told Joy News the public should be expecting regular rainfalls. Listen to her colleague on AM show a while ago.
Now, for billboards, yes, people should be wary of getting closer to billboards, getting closer to walls, because some of the rains, when they come, they push walls down, buildings collapse. But most importantly, when you know where you are staying in a flat-prone area, place, we advise that whenever the rain is coming, move to a safe haven or a higher ground. At least the rain will stop, and then you can come back to your house. And then make sure that at least if you are leaving the house, you put your valuable things on top of your building, because you may not know. There might be flash floods or something, and it will come into your room. And also, we are advising people that they shouldn't wait when it's coming to rain. Then they move out all their debris and then their rubbish and go and dump them in the gutter. You saw what happened yesterday. A lot of debris on the road. Yes, they are in the gutters. The gutters are made for water to pass it, but we have put solid waste into them. If the water could not pass it to rain, it will come onto the road. If it doesn't get it straight to the road, it will come into our homes. So we are appealing to everybody to at least be environmentally conscious and make sure that we do the right thing. Rains are very good. Unfortunately for us, we in Accra and some cities, our resilience level currently is very low. Those days, before Accra will get flooded or we get flash flood, it might rain for almost 3 or 4 or 5 days. Maybe you have 60 millimeters of rain for about a week before Accra will get flooded. But currently, if we have 26, 30, 35 millimeters of rain over Accra, Accra will get flooded. We have paved a lot of places. We have cement a lot of places. We have built houses in a lot of places. So when it rains, water cannot percolate into the soil. And once the water cannot percolate into the soil, it will run over. And when the drainage systems too are not very huge, to contain, and we have silted them and to contain the running water, yes, to go into the sea, then it will spill onto the roads and into our homes. And that's why I'm saying that the resilient level of Accra has dropped drastically. So until we check all these things, yes, as for flash floods, big cities will have it. But it's the resilience and the things that they do that will not hamper any life and property. And that will also determine on how fast the flash flood will recede.
Well, I've been joined by Engineer Abdullahi Mahama, who is a civil engineer, for a conversation on this. I would also be joined by NADMO Communications Director George AEC for what the NADMO plans to do as the rain sets in. I'm grateful, gentlemen, for your time. I'll start with you, Engineer Mahama. We are here again, the time of the year when many become homeless and devastated. We've established over the years that what we really need is proper urban planning and infrastructural development. What is the challenge in getting these basic needs in place? Engineer Mahama? Do we have Engineer Mahama on the line?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Engineer, and thanks for your time. Right, we seem to be having challenges with Engineer Mahama. Let's try and get him back to talk about the infrastructural development and the fact that we need to also upgrade some, we need to have a proper urban planning, and that's why we're facing all of this. But George AEC is on the line. George, now that we're here, definitely we know that once the rain sets in, there's going to be flooding. At least we now understand that's what we're going to be seeing every year. What's the plan? Hello, George. Do we have George AEC? Right, there seems to be a terrible connection with our lines. Do we have Engineer Mahama back on the line? Engineer Mahama, are you back?
Hello, George is here.
Right, George. So I'm asking what the plan for NADMO is as we set in the rain setting.
Yeah, thank you. We engage in localized communications to make people understand and know the flood risk of the area where they live in. And those in flood-prone areas, we try to identify places we call safe havens, which are higher grounds where people can go for safety when the floods begin to rise. And so we are doing that community engagement, identification of safe havens, and then how to assess those safe havens for their safety. Again, we encourage people to pay heed to the weather warning from Ghana Met so that they will act accordingly. For instance, if you want to go somewhere and the weather says it's going to be rainy and stormy, you ought to take that into consideration in making your decision as to where you're going. Those living in places that have trees and co, we witnessed what happened yesterday. We advise that people are careful when they are moving around such places so that to avoid any such incidents. And again, parks and gardens, we entreat, if it's possible for them to prune some of these trees and then identify the ones that are likely to pose danger, we can get them out of the system. So we're engaging and then working with our partners to ensure the safety of the citizenry.
Have you done a survey to know what kind of devastation the rain for this year will cause? I'm talking about how, and also how much relief we will need, and plus, I mean, by the time the rain ends, and how fairly it will be distributed. Have you done a proper survey to get data on some of these things?
Well, I don't know about survey. We've not carried out any survey, but with a trend analysis, we have data over periods and with the forecast that is coming in. Based on the data available to us, we are able to project into the future that we are likely to have X number of people being affected as a result of the flooding. And that will inform our decision on what to stock. And you know, we have our warehouses and we have pre-positioning to do. So that is what we do. The trend analysis informs us on the projections we make into the future.
Well, do we have Engineer Mahama back? All right, so we lost Engineer Mahama there. Let's thank George AEC, who is from NADMO. Thank you for your time. Engineer Mahama, if you are back, the issue has been with proper urban planning and infrastructural development. What has been the challenge with us? Why are we still battling with some of these situations immediately the rain sets in?
Yeah, well, I say good morning to your cherished viewers. I think, Aisha, you and I have had this interview over and over again.
Yes, at least every year. It's become a ritual.
Yes, and you know, population growth, if not tackled well, would rather aggravate the situation, because day in and out, if you look at where you stay or the nearest suburbs of Accra, expansion is astronomical. And if we do not allow the physical planning to move ahead of population growth in terms of planning for a new settlement or a new developing area, we would meet the same process. We would go in to engage the people would have started their construction before the institutions would go in to force the planning. And when you do that, because you are going after the people have settled, it becomes a disincentive for government to move in, because when the layouts are not demarcated for construction of roads and drainages and retention ponds, the compensation that government would have to be paying will be too much for government. So then they close a blind, they just turn a blind eye to such reckless development, and new communities hitherto should have had a very good history behind to develop a good future, repeating the same mess. So we are of the view that the physical planning authorities of the assemblies would have to up their game. I know the only thing they would say is that they are well not resourced. So if that is the case, then government should at least concentrate on those aspects and then get some form of funds available to the physical plan officers to actually take the lead in planning our fallow lands for expansion of the infrastructure development across the country. And it's not only in Accra. Some years back, we don't experience flooding in Koforidua, we're not experiencing flooding in the Volta region, central region, and the like. But now it looks like the flooding has cut across the country, and it's a source of worry. If I will touch briefly on what happened yesterday, the storm that brought down a tree means that it can bring down any haphazard construction, especially with our roof designs. So we have to engage good engineers to get us good designs, and we'll get good contractors or experienced workmen to execute those designs that have been given out for construction. And I've noticed over the years that we are installing billboards across, and we saw some few ones which were down yesterday. It has to be properly designed, and it goes back to the same assembly. The assembly identify the owners of the billboards, and some fees are charged. I don't know whether it's quarterly or yearly, but before the assembly would go in and do the charges, they would have to ensure the structural integrity of those billboards, because one billboard stands about 10 meters, and if a 10-meter billboard should fall down, it can take the lives of not less than 5 people if all of them are within the range of the site that the pole or the board will fall in covering the area.
And the question then again is, will there ever be a time when we will actually heave a sigh of relief and feel at home when the rain sets in with the way we are going?
Enforcement. Aisha, I pray and request that maybe we have to sustain a little bit of education after either before the rains, during the rains, and after the rains. It should be a routine. And where advocacies are sustained, we should be able to ensure that we see public information about those who fall short of the law, those who are not enforcing the law to work. Any offender who is sentenced is given some public notice. I mean, for all of us to be a deterrent to us when we see some of these things happen, because we see buildings collapsing and we don't hear the conclusion of what happens. Let's just talk about this wonderful community apiati that the government has just gone to commission last week. I'm told that the offenders, let's say those who actually didn't follow regulations, were just given some administrative charges. Does it end there? This fire outbreak will not be the last. This negligence will not be the last. But what's the deterrent? So these are the things that you have to sustain as one of the media houses, very powerful media houses, and we'll get an answer, because I'm becoming very exhausted with repeated advocacy, repeated profile of solutions that is falling on deaf ears, especially when it comes to the government institutions who are mandated by a lot of the wonderful acts to work, and they are not doing it. So it's very sad that we know what we are supposed to do as officers of the assemblies. We know what we are supposed to do as developers, yet because we know that there will not be any punishment at the end of the day, we go back to sleep. And next year, the rains will come. We are yet to start. And you see, the global warming is across the world. You have seen what is happening in Dubai. You have seen what is happening in Saudi Arabia. Some areas that had never witnessed flooding to that magnitude are receiving it. You know, Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, have made a law that nobody can cut even a tree in their compound unless express approval is given by the local assemblies. Is that what is happening in the country? That tree that fell yesterday, causing the havoc. Let's say if that tree was not there to receive that storm, to break down the load, the wind load, and it had gone past there without any tree, I'm sure we might have been hearing very devastating news elsewhere. So the trees are equally very important. Like Isu was saying, Honorable Isu was saying, the ones that will feel like they are so old that their roots are actually giving way because of erosion taking place under the roots have to be removed so that adequate planting will be carried out to replace those ones. Because the wind is coming, the devastation is increasing, the drought is increasing, the flash floods are increasing, and the environment had to be given prior interest before any other thing would materialize in this country, at least for us to be able to curb down the devastation that is accompanied with some of these floods in our countries.
Well, we'll be hoping that things will get better, but of course we cannot sit down with our hands folded. We definitely have to do something. I'm grateful for your time, Engineer Abdullahi Mahama, with those solutions that you proffer. In fact, every year we'll see how that goes. Let's take you back to the registration center, where we're hearing that there's conflicts at the Ayawaso Central constituency, specifically at the former EC's office, as a national security personnel is seen in a fight with some party officials from the NDC.
Thank you very much. My name is Tahiru Ahmed, popularly known as Baba Warababa, from Ayawaso North constituency. And I'm in charge of the monitoring the 4 Ayawasos So what happened is that, you know, as a media personnel, you are here to cover the registration. And what happened is that I learned the guy who is having problem with the other guy is a security personnel who is from Alajo, which I know him is a police officer, taking people in to register, in and out. He's trying to cross the queue.
So the police officer is the one taking people in and out?
In and out. So he's the one who wear the orange color or the red t-shirt. So you can see him holding a bow tie and other things. Because I saw him, I was asking, why is he doing this way? So, and I saw that maybe what is happening is the XYZ, they are trying to record what is happening. So, and I heard him saying that maybe he should stop recording. So the other guy was telling him that no, he is doing his job. As a media personnel, they are here to take cover what went wrong, what went right. So he has a right to cover it. They say no, they will not allow him to do the recording. So the other guy too said no. And for that one, you don't have that power to stop the media house. So that's what transpired for this hula baloo. So we have to intervene to make sure that maybe things are calm down, because I have to tell him as a security personnel, you don't have that right to be taking people inside for registration.
But he's not wearing uniform.
Yes, not wearing it because it's like maybe, you know, the strategy that they are doing, we know each other. And I confronted him and asked him, he said, yes, he's a police officer. So I told him that maybe as a police officer, you don't have that right to do whatever you are doing. That is why we always say that maybe we don't trust the security personnel. Because this election, we need peace. But if they want to do whatever it is, because it's not going to augur well with all of us. Because if they are ready, which we are ready, because we need peace in Ghana. So let peace prevail. Other than that, what they are intending to do, we can do more than them.
Is it partisan?
No, the thing now, it's a partisan. Because if you look at the terrain here, NDC are here, we the NDC are here, the MPP too are here, other party agents too are here. So it's a partisan. For registration, it's a partisan. It's not non-partisan. It's not assembly election. This is a limited registration for the general election. So it's a partisan. So you will not sit down and allow somebody to come and take your stake and beat you. No. This 2024 election is something different. So we are going to go in there with our lives, with our everything to make sure that we succeed in this election.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Good. So we are here at the Ayawaso Central Constituency for the limited voter registration exercise. And what you saw on your screens in a bit was an altercation, and one of the people involved explaining that this man I'm standing here with, a security personnel, got involved in some sort of arrangement which brought about the brouhaha. But we want to hear the story from his own mouth as he tells it. Thank you for speaking to us. Exactly what happened that resulted in that fight we saw?
Yeah, we're standing at Ayawaso Central. The guys that were supposed to arrange for them to come and get their polling station numbers and the rest. So the guy there was one media guy, TV3, he came, he was captured. He said, so one guy was talking to him that, it seems you captured it, not that way they were doing some kululu or something like that. That's not the case. But the other guy that came by said, let him do his work. He said, from day one, nobody stopped him from working because media, we are with you. So you have the right to do whatever that you're supposed to do. So the guy captured. So along the way, he started, there was one girl, he went and pulled her hair. I said, what kind of sort is this? What is it? Already you were here that we talk about it. So I don't see the reason why, as a lady, you being a man, you should go and just pull her hair. So that let me intervene.
So are you a security officer?
No, I'm from the National Security.
National Security, but you're not in uniform today. What are you doing here this morning?
No, we are trying to monitor the situation on the ground.
Okay, so the other guy mentioned that you were taking people into the room there to register, which is not part of your duties here.
So, I was even standing here. They haven't taken anybody. They haven't climbed even outside.
We'll certainly bring you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. Let's take a break. When we return, this business.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. Insurance sector players have been entreated to be more innovative to improve Ghana's insurance penetration. According to Acting Managing Director for Sunu Assurance Ghana Limited, Matthew Okojerad Nkata, insurance should be seamless to attract customers. He reiterated the need for investments to expand operations of this sector. He spoke to Joy Business at the Sunu Assurance Annual Retail Awards celebration.
Sunu Assurance Ghana Limited, a member of a Pan-African financial services group, held Earth Retail Awards to appreciate Earth Retail executives across the country. This is to encourage Earth executives to keep the business running. Nkata said the company is working to improve on its operations.
The challenging in prospecting, I mean, these are general challenges of the industry, and these are challenges that are also related to how insurance industries behave. You know, people don't believe in the words of the insurance company, meaning that if they say they are going to pay for your claims, when the time will come, are they going to really pay? So, and we have also economic challenges where companies have to now review the budget, and insurance is not the first need for a company, so they have to deal with the first need, the initial one, before they will go to the insurance company. But what we have to do facing those challenges is to work on our services, which we are constantly doing to make sure that every promise given to customers should be fulfilled. That's what we do.
Mercy Otabo, who won 60,000 Ghana cedis, expressed their excitement.
I think it has been 9 years since I joined Sunu. First of all, I have to thank AB. AB, where are you? AB. Okay. I always mention AB's name because it's AB who brought me to. It was equity. I was a sub-agent at a Star Assurance and also SIC. But then when I started my own as an agent, it's AB who took me to equity. So every day that I took award, I have to mention AB's name. AB, thank you very much.
60,000 Ghana cedis. That is the money Mercy Otabo is taking home for her hard work.
And that's it for the segment. The news returns after this break.
Civil society organizations are lamenting the lack of decisive action to deal with vote buying. Kwadaso MP Dr. Kingsley Nyako was captured on camera handing over an envelope to electoral officials during the just ended Ejiso by-election. This has brought against the filthy illegal act, which has almost become an integral part of Ghana's electoral system. Senior research fellow at the Institute for Democratic Governance, Professor Kwesi Jonah, says the most effective way of dealing with the canker is by jailing both the giver and the receiver.
We have always looked at these in very legalistic terms. Why don't you catch them and put them into jail and it's not going to happen anytime soon? To be honest with you, if you have 4,000 or 5,000 delegates, each of them taking money from a few candidates, and both the seller and the buyer are guilty of an offense, are you going to throw 4,500 delegates who are taking 300, each of them taking 300, 400 from each candidate? Yeah. You have to take another second hard look at this phenomenon.
So what do we do then? And that was my question earlier. Should we just forget about this?
That's what you're coming to. If it was possible to throw all of them into jail, the phenomenon would probably, Salon will be full, everywhere will be full, and there'll be nowhere to take them. This is what you do. Those of us in civil society, together with the political parties, we cannot do this without the support and the cooperation of the political parties.
And as I wrap up, Joy News Desk will be back at 12 with more. Log on to myjoyonline.com. You'll get all the news and updates of all the developing stories. See you again at 12.